Let's meet Tim Smith. Tim, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So the first question I have to ask is for people who have seen the Traveling Chateaus. You're half of the Traveling Chateaus. I want to hear this story on how this came about, because I think you were the originator of this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
So talk to me about how this all came together.
So 2016, my wife and I decided to buy an RV. So we set out. We ended up finding ours, which happened to be a 2016 Thor 28Z Chateau, and we constantly talk about it, and almost to the point where we get annoying talking to our friends. But I was deployed. I'm actually active duty Air Force, and I was deployed with a friend of mine, Eric Crotzley. And Eric had been talking about doing a lot of traveling and want to take more vacations with his wife and 2 daughters. And while we were in the desert, we used our free time to research RVs, and he ended up finding himself a 31E Chateau, and that was in summer of 2019. So we took our first trip. It was that summer, 2019, up to Angel Fire, New Mexico, and that's how it all started. And poor Eric, he gets hounded because after he got the Chateau, then he got the Jeep to tow behind it, and he's been taking a razz from everybody who knows us because he's copying me. But that's how it started. It's been awesome. Anytime we get a chance to travel together, we do.
So where are some of your favorite places that you've got a chance to explore? Maybe one of those little nugget places that you accidentally found on the way that nobody knows about?
I'm going to say a favorite. We did a 30-day trip out west where we hit the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, stood on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, things like that. But we did a trip this past summer out to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we ended up finding a seashore reserve on Ocracoke Island. So we were able to put the Chateau on the ferry, go across the bay there, and then stayed on the small island of Ocracoke, which is only maybe a few miles long, and there's no hookups. So thank the Lord for my own generator that kept us going for 4 days. And but that was probably the coolest little place that we found.
And so you went there. So where are some of the places that you weren't able to go last year due to the pandemic and whatnot that you hope to get to this year? Or are there any places that your family is like, we got to go here, Dad, honey, we have to go?
Well, actually, the trip last year, we were slotted to go down to Florida, and we were going to do Devil's Den, which is a natural spring down there in Florida. And then from there, we were actually going to go down to Key Largo. I'm originally from Florida. My family has never been down to the Florida Keys. So that's what we originally had slotted, was to go down there. And it all kind of got cut. The military actually put a restriction on us, so there were only certain states I could travel to anyways. But we did a lot of exploring around Oklahoma, which is our home base, and it saw a lot of the state parks that we wouldn't usually go to, So, but yeah, we're hoping to hit Devil's Den. That plan has fallen through twice now.
Third time's a charm.
Exactly. So we're hoping to get down there and do that. And we're huge Disney people. So once things calm down, we'll get back down there to Fort Wilderness. And my parents work at Disney World, so it's a win-win situation there.
So when you're traveling, does Eric come with you when he can? And is there a competition between you two on who goes the coolest places?
So there's always competition, because I think that's good for everybody. But anytime we can, we travel together. Our families, they really meshed well. I have an 11-year-old son. He has 2 young girls, 9 and 7, I believe. And then our wives get along, which is always a good thing, But yeah, any chance we get to travel together, we do. It's just that much more fun. And when people see us pull up at the gas pump right next to each other, you know, with the exception of my Jeep being blue and his Jeep being orange, you almost take it's like a double take. So yeah, any chance we can. So right now, Eric, unfortunately, he's the military took him up to Alaska, which is great for him. But now we have to start traveling up north so we can hit each other up again. So
now, have you taken the Chateau up to Alaska yet?
We have not. We have not taken it up to Alaska. We've been from coast to coast, but we haven't gone from the bottom to the top. So hopefully. What's that?
It could be a trip.
Oh, it will be a trip.
It could be a trip. So out of all of your travels over the past couple of years and all the people that you've met and the places you've gone and the things that you've seen, is there one story or one element that sticks out that between you and your son and your wife are like, oh yeah, this is the defining moment. This is the one thing that we'll always remember, or are there really too many of those to count?
There may be too many to count. You know, we've stayed in temperatures as hot as 110 degrees when we travel out west. We did Angel Fire in the snow where we had 18 inches of snow. It never got above freezing the whole time we were there. But I would probably say our trip out west where we took the 30 days to see the Grand Canyon and Yellowstone and Tetons and things like that. I think we realized that we need to slow down. You know, we saw so much, but we crammed it into such a short amount of time. A month seems like a long time to take your RV out, but when you're only staying in places for 4 days here or 3 days there, we're like, okay, we need to slow down, spend more time at these places. Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons are just, I mean, the Tetons especially, it was unbelievable. You know, we went to Zion on that trip and walked through the Narrows, and my son, we used to constantly have to, you know, find that little nugget that made him want to do these hikes with us. But when we hiked the Narrows through Zion, we were out there for probably about 7 hours, and you know, it was just one little thing after another, and every time you rounded a corner, there was something new. So it was great. And it was funny, before the Traveling Chateau started, Eric was actually there the week prior to us getting to Zion. So it was bound to happen. You know, it was bound to happen.
So when you get a chance this year, where is the first place you guys are going to go?
So we have a trip. Our first big trip plan will be out to Virginia. We're using my wife's cousin, using her wedding as our excuse, but you know, we're going out to, I think it's called Natural Tunnels State Park, I believe is what it is. So it's there in the mountains of Virginia. So we'll go out there for a week, and on the way there, we like to stop, stay on the Mississippi as we're driving that way on I-40. And then we'd like to go up a little bit further north, past Virginia, maybe jump over to DC or something like that. My son loves the Northeast, although he's never been there. So I'd like to take him up there.
That sounds like a great time. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I appreciate you taking your time to talk to us today. Safe travels wherever you happen to go. You can wish Eric safe travels as well if you want to. Just say, definitely, they gave me more. Just give it a 70-30 split. And thank you and Eric for your service. We do appreciate it, and we wish you the best in your travels this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all having me.